99 degrees, right, Jonathan? It's still 99 degrees out there?
In the San Bernardino area, it's about 99, and humidity is about 15%.
Let's watch this water drop, and they have done some amazing work. But you can see, you know, that helped that one car, but
that truck it did nothing to, because these cars are filled with gasoline.
It's so difficult.
Yeah, it is something else. Jonathan, sorry we interrupted you. What did you say?
Yeah, winds are about 15, 16 miles an hour, and then you throw that on top at 99 for the temperature. And then you have humidity at 15%. Those are the three ingredients you need for wildfires to break out. And so I'm not going to say it's the most ripe we've ever seen for fires to break out, but it's not good, for sure, obviously.
I guess. Yeah.
You did say, though, you expect humidity to rise because of the storm that's off the coast.
Right. We have hurricane, well, now Tropical Storm Dolores down to the south, way down to the south of us, but we have a lot of moisture that's associated with it that's going to come in tonight into the weekend, and this won't be a problem, this fire issue.
All right.
Certainly a problem right now, though, especially for the folks who are on the 15. And there's another water drop. And as we've been pointing out, these fires are so hot and they have so much fuel with the gasoline that's in these vehicles. It's right now doing very little. In some respects, they have to wait for it to burn itself out.
Incredible. Right now, we're going to talk to Eric Sherwin from San Bernardino County Fire. Eric, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, tell us the latest, please.
The latest update on acreage we have is 500 acres. The fire continues to expand in all directions. Presenting right now a structure threat to the Baldy Mesa community, but it's still presenting, as you can see on your screen, quite a threat to the Cajon Pass and Interstate 15 itself.
How much of the resources go for structure protection for the Baldy Mesa area, and versus getting the fire out on the freeway? How do you do that?
The priority right now, our number one priority, is the freeway because of the people that are on the freeway.
Okay.
Whereas typically we talk about we want to put structure protection into place. We do have that going, but concurrently, because of the people and their exposure on the freeway, that is number one for us right now.
Can you tell us what is actually happening on the freeway in regards to keeping those people safe? What's the plan here in getting people out of there? Because clearly we've been seeing them kind of running up and down the freeway. We hope they're out of their vehicles, but what do you know?
Right now, and we did recognize this early on, that we had multiple vehicles that were, for lack of a better term, stuck on the freeway, and the potential of there to be a catastrophic incident. Because of that, we declared a mass casualty incident in addition to the vegetation fire. That dedicates medical resources and fire resources to the freeway that do a combination assessing whether or not we have, in fact, incurred any injuries to civilians or firefighters, and placed both ground ambulances and air ambulances in the area to treat and transport those victims as we come across them.
What type of challenge is that to get to the freeway?
The freeway, as you're aware, there's an extensive rehab project going on in the Cajon Pass, which makes travel through the pass difficult on any day. We don't have the shoulders that we traditionally have. So trying to move fire resources into the area is difficult. But additionally, when we do get people that get out of their vehicle and walk away, or abandon their vehicles and take their keys with them, that makes it that much more difficult, not only for us to clear the incident, but to get fire assets into the area and to get injured parties away from the area.
So ideally, what should those people do on the freeway? Should they stay in their car if they're not too far from the fire, or do they get out? What do you recommend?
There's a couple different thinking. If you feel that you need to abandon your car, we do ask that you leave your keys in the car, because the only way we get your vehicles out is to bring in tow trucks and additional resources to further clog the interstate to remove those vehicles. Now, if we're dropping water, a water drop itself, when you're standing out there, is hazardous. We can get ourselves significantly injured and or killed just from a water drop. So it's a safer place when we're dropping water to be in your vehicle. However, if you have that approaching fire front and you do choose that abandoning your vehicle is the safest route, please leave your keys in the vehicle. We will get them back to you.
Important information, and perhaps people that are home can call their loved ones if they know they're on the I-15 and let them know, because you really wouldn't think of that.
That's true, and that's why we do appreciate the opportunity to bring these thoughts onto your newscast.
All right, Eric, thank you so much. You've been a wealth of information, and good luck to you. Hopefully you'll check back with us and give us the latest situation, because we really feel for you, because this is a crazy situation we have never seen before. So thank you so much for taking the time to give us that in a dirt road and whatever they can, and getting off that 15 freeway. So they're close. They're shooting this from the ground, and I believe is that the tanker truck, the semi truck?
It's so hard to tell now because the smoke has gotten really thick, but it does look like that.
Yeah, that's it. That's the semi truck, and then on the far side of that truck is the car carrier.
Right.
So both of those have gone up and continue to burn. That boat that we've been watching also is completely gone, and then about a dozen other cars are gone as well and continue to burn. And so a crisis situation, and we heard from the official who said that they called this a catastrophic call for mass casualties, an emergency of that sort, so they can get as many resources as possible there just in case there are injuries. But still, we want to emphasize, we haven't been able to confirm there are any injuries in this situation.
And it's so challenging for them because even though there are ambulances on standby, they can't get into the area because of the trapped cars and people in their cars. We were talking earlier, they said, the people that are trapped in their cars, if you have to get out, then leave your keys at the car. It's something we never thought about before, but that makes sense.
Those interesting nuances that as these things go, these questions pop up that you don't really realize. It's very important. Leave your keys in the car, because people say, well, if I have to leave my car here, I don't even want to take it.
And then there's a challenge we're just watching right now, the water dropping. I didn't realize that you could become pretty badly injured by the water dropping, but it makes sense.
Look at that.
Another explosion.
That's the trucks, I think. That's that big semi-truck next to the car carrier that's exploding right now.
And we don't know what it's carrying.
No, we don't, and it shows you, and there's some people walking around over there, we're hoping those are firefighters, but it shows you that this thing is ongoing, it is out of control, they're doing what they can, but even a water drop on top of a burning car has almost no effect.
And so much dangerous fuel out there, and 99 degrees, low humidity, it's a bad situation all around.
So we are watching the situation, as Bill pointed out, this fire continues to progress towards the Baldy Mesa area, and he, in his own observation, says that's going to be a tough fight. If it continues to go in that direction, Baldy Mesa and keeping all of those houses and homes safe is going to be tough because they are spread out. There is fuel in that area. And then the other situation, of course, is the 15 freeway, cars on fire, and then beyond that, hundreds, if not thousands, probably thousands of people that are trapped on the 15 freeway and cannot get off. That's our ground crew. Those are live pictures from our ground crew who are nearby watching these dramatic helicopter drops on top of the freeway. They're doing what they can, but keep in mind, it's not like dropping water on brush. These cars have gas tanks filled with gasoline, and so just throwing water on it sometimes doesn't do enough.
And they're having to push the envelope, and Bill says going as low as 20 feet, and he says he never sees them that low, but they're really trying to concentrate that water right on those cars so it doesn't spread to all the other cars on the freeway. But we've seen it, they're popping up all over the place now.
So the situation is dire at best, and it is clearly out of control. Most of those folks are firefighters that you see walking on the freeway right now. They're dressed in yellow. It's kind of hard to tell from this distance, but they're dressed in yellow. Those are firefighters. But earlier we saw a number of civilians walking down this freeway, some even with kids, trying to figure out where they should go and what they should do. It was pointed out that you leave your keys in the car, because if you don't, then they got to get a tow truck eventually and move your car when this thing is all said and done. But that's quite some time from now, which brings us to the other point. The people on the 15 freeway, and when can they use the 15 freeway? That's going to be hours.
Exactly.
Clearly it's going to be hours, because clearing all of these cars, which are still burning out of control, is going to be a task in itself.
And hopefully the people of the Baldy Mesa area are able to evacuate in a really smooth fashion, but it's a Friday afternoon, but people are headed to Las Vegas, and there's traffic all over the place right now.
We're dealing with smoke. Denise Dodor gave us some tips on smoke, what you should do if you're stuck in your car with your air conditioner, etc. Denise?
Definitely keep it on recycle. Don't leave your car. If you are not in danger from the flames and you have gas, definitely keep your car running, run the air conditioner, keep it on recycle. That's the best filtration system you're going to have, because once you open that window, the fine particulates are going to get in there, and it's very dangerous dangerous to your health, especially if you have any chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes. It's hard to protect yourself. You're not prepared for this situation, I imagine. You probably don't have a mask that can filtrate this, so you can use a scarf if you have to head outdoors. If you don't have air conditioning, of course, that would be the worst thing. This type of heat, nearly 100 degrees, it's very bad for people, the elderly, and if you're pregnant. There have been so many studies about what this fine smoke, fine particulate can do, especially if you inhale it deeply. Take short breaths. If you take a deep breath, it goes into your lungs, can cause all kinds of issues on the cellular level, and you'll be dealing with this for months to come. So do what you can to protect yourself. And it's the people who are around this. Everyone who's near this, if you live near here, you all have to keep your windows shut, keep the doors closed, run the air conditioning. That's always the advice.
The air conditioning filters your air, which is a great thing, especially when it comes to all that nasty smoke and particulate matter. You've been watching some video on the right-hand side, and we show you some dramatic things. A boat on fire, which is completely gone. We also saw a car carrier catching fire. Now that is almost completely gone with its load, all caught on fire, and then the truck next to it on fire. The left-hand side, that's a live picture, and where that smoke is coming out of, those are those two major trucks, one the car carrier, the other one KLLM Trucking, and so that was a big semi-truck. We don't know what it was carrying because that's just basically a trucking company that kind of transports whatever you employ them to transport. So we don't know what's inside that truck, but it is almost completely gone. You're seeing the live picture right there on the left-hand side of your screen.
And we don't know what happened to that truck that was carrying all the tanks, and we don't know what those tanks were. But
right, that is forward. We had some concern that maybe that was helium, maybe that was oxygen, something that's highly flammable. I didn't see them move it, but we haven't shown it in quite a while. It may still be sitting there, and they may be watching it closely, but so far, no fire. The closest the fire got to that truck was about 20 feet away, which was concerning, but so far so good when it comes to that. This situation, far worse, obviously moving from truck to truck. You have FedEx trucks behind that, and you have all these cars closely lined up, and they got to keep those cars from catching fire, otherwise this thing is going to go and go and go.
This thing is about to explode because you can see that metal actually melting on the side there, and as it's just rapidly, look at that.
Well, here's another thing that brings up some concern. Remember when the truck caught on fire underneath the 5 freeway and basically burned the overpass? Now, this is not an overpass, luckily, but when it comes to extreme heat like this, especially induced by gasoline and whatever other fuels it might be pulling from these trucks, we see freeways, railing, asphalt actually melt. Could that happen here on the 15 freeway? We don't know, but it is certainly a situation to be concerned about because we want, once this thing is all over with and they clear the freeway, then we do want to be able to open that 15 freeway again.
And as we're watching that truck burn, it's just inching closer and closer to that FedEx truck. I'm sorry, our producer, what did you say, honey?
We've seen that before where it kicks up again, and if you look to the right of your
screen, we have Gilbert on the phone from Temecula. Is that what you said? Gilbert, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What can you tell us? What's your experience with this fire?
It's all burning to the north. So we're coming down from Vegas, and then the traffic started, and at first it was like a really small fire, but then like it started getting really huge, and people were getting out of their cars, and then the police redirected us down this like off-road hill, and
house fires.
Yeah, so there was a lot of people like just standing there because they couldn't go down. So then like a lot of like those who were able to pick them up, like pickup trucks and stuff, we put them in the back and then we just drove them down the hill.
Oh, so people are helping other people that can't get out.
This brings a couple of questions to mind. So you were able to immediately get off the 215 freeway. You were not one of the people who was trapped on the 215. I mean, on the 15 freeway.
And right adjacent to that,
we were on the freeway when we were there, but then the people who we picked up, they couldn't get their cars because they were so close.
So you were there early on when you said the fire was small, but already the CHP had shut down the freeway. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So they shut down the freeway, and then what happened? Did they give you instructions, right? That's how you got off?
Yeah, they told us to go to this route to go to the other freeway.
Yeah, they have.
But the people that you picked up, they abandoned their cars because they could not get off. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Back that rig up.
And it makes you wonder if they left their keys in their car or not.
Right, and that might be what the other official was talking to us about. So Gilbert's photograph, you sent us a photo. Thank you so much. You're a ABC 7 eyewitness. So we're putting your photograph up right now. So this is your perspective of what you saw. So you saw this thing developing early on. Are you still trapped somewhere?
No, we're at a gas station actually. There's a lot of people from the fire here.
And you can't go anywhere then because of the 215?
Yeah, it's completely backed up. It's like closed.
Okay, as we continue to watch the situation on the
that was just a great water drop on some cars, but that truck that we were watching burn is completely engulfed now, and you see them trying to protect the Federal Express truck behind it, but it's that's a tough battle.
We're talking to Gilbert from Temecula, who was there early on when this fire first broke out and they first stopped some of the traffic. He was one of the lucky ones who was able to get off. What are these folks? Have you been able to talk to these folks that you picked up and who might have left their cars on the freeway? What are they saying?
Oh no, we weren't able to talk to them. We just told them to get in the back of our truck.
That was really kind of you, and I wonder how many other people picked up other people just as they're standing along the side of the road.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
No, it was really surreal.
I can imagine.
Like, I couldn't even believe it was happening.
What are other folks saying that are in the area? Are the folks distressed that are in that area, wondering what to do, and especially the ones who've left their cars there?
Yeah, actually, all of us are just huddled around the TV right now, just watching the news, hoping it gets better.
Can you believe what you're seeing?
Yeah, it's pretty surreal.
It's crazy.
Gilbert, what's the plan then? If they don't open that 215 freeway until maybe, say, tomorrow, what are you going to do?
We really don't know. It's either we stay here and just wait it out, or we try to look for a hotel.
Wow.
What a situation.
Because it could be hours before they're able to open this up.
And he brings up another point. Everybody's going to be doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there enough hotel space for everybody to pile into if they are stranded out there? Unprecedented situation we're seeing on the 15 freeway right now in the Cajon Pass.
Yeah, well, we do know of one evacuation center that's located in Phelan, and that's at Serrano High School, 9292 Sheep Creek Road. So there is a place that you can go to in Phelan. That's Serrano High School.
He can get
if
over
you
there.
can get there, exactly.
Because he's probably right near the fire. Do you see any fire where you are right now? Any smoke?
Yeah, we're actually like really close. We're not like close enough to see the flames, but we're like close enough to see all the smoke.
Can you smell it too? Is it pretty bad?
Yeah, we can smell it. It's like, yeah, it's pretty dark.
Gosh.
Gilbert from Temecula, thank you so much for calling in. Thank you so much for sending us a photo and kind of relaying your situation. It's the first time we've been able to see, or at least hear, what some of the folks are dealing with that are there on the ground and found themselves in the middle of this situation. Again, that's Gilbert's photo right there on the left-hand side of your screen. That's his perspective of this fire. Luckily, he got off the 215 freeway and he helped other people get off the freeway, but the situation still is dire.
Certainly is, and we do have a lot of eyewitnesses sending us photos and on Instagram and Twitter, and we're going to share those as soon as we can, as soon as this situation dies down a little bit. But we want to keep thank you for sending those in and continue to send those in to us.
So this right now is in the 15 freeway where we first saw the initial cars catching on fire, and as you can see, they are still on fire. Here we are a good hour later.
Right.
And they're still on fire in that area. That's the first area that we saw cars catching on fire. And notice the ground, the scorched ground. The fire rolled through there, jumped the freeway onto the other side and kept going up. Caught some cars on fire as it did that. Then further down the freeway, and this was after the fire had jumped and was going up the hillside, and then these trucks started catching on fire. We always talk about burning embers moving around, and you can never judge where a fire is going to end up because the wind will carry those embers. Perhaps that's what happened to these trucks, because they went up a good deal later, maybe 30, 40 minutes later after the other cars went up, when the fire was long gone.
Keep watching this truck burning hot, and that smoke is not not dissipating anytime soon. Hopefully it won't spread to that Federal Express truck that's right behind it, but I think they were hosing it down to try to protect it.
There are firefighters right there on the ground. That's a live picture from our ground unit who's gotten close to the 15 freeway. Firefighters and civilians. Those are civilians on the very right-hand side. They're trying to get them out of there. And you can see, as Denise said, use your scarf, use whatever you can to cover your face to ensure that you don't breathe in all that smoke. And look at that gentleman turning around and taking another look or second look at those trucks burning. He probably can't believe his eyes and believe the situation he is in. But at least there's some efforts right there. CHP as well, trying to get these people to safety. It's probably going to be a very tedious chore at that because there's a lot of people on the freeway.
Yeah, and it's such a challenge because this is their main priority, of course, because people's lives are in danger. This is their first priority, but they're also doing some structure protection up in the Baldy Mesa area, Baldy Mesa area, and those places are having mandatory evacuations east of Sheep Creek Road, north of the I-15, and west of the Interstate 15, and south of Phelan Road. So they're having to also spend some resources there to protect those properties as well, because that fire is moving north toward that area of homes.
Jonathan Novak has been watching this fire along with us. The good news is the situation is not absolutely horrible when it comes to the weather, Jonathan, but it is extremely hot and humidity is low.
It's about 14, 15%. I mean, we've seen single digits before, but still 15% is obviously still very dry. And when you have your temperatures in the upper 90s right now in that area, around 98, 99 degrees, a wind of 15 miles an hour, those are conditions that aren't going to be helping out, of course, and it's enough where we can see these wildfires break out for sure, as we see them today.
Jonathan, you mentioned rain in your earlier forecast. Is there any chance? Clearly, it's not going to happen for this, right?
Not in the short term. No, it's not going to be until, well, and even tomorrow. I mean, the humidity levels will start rising in the next probably 12 hours, 16 hours. We'll start seeing some of that moisture really enter the area, but that's actually not even as much at the surface as it is in the mid and upper levels. So you're going to have to wait, until tomorrow to really get a lot of help here with this. Today, in the meantime, it's still going to stay dry until sunset. The humidity levels will start rising, so we've got a few hours here to go before things start, improving a little bit.
Thankfully, those winds haven't picked up too much. Right. We have Dave Bussey. He's one of our photographers here at ABC7 Eyewitness News on the phone. And Dave, where are you?
I'm just, I'm giving you that live picture of the truck burning in the burning area here on the 15th southbound in Cajon Pass.
How difficult, because we saw some of your travels when you were on the 15 and really bogged down, then you got off and it looked like you went down a dirt road. How hard was it to get where you are?
Well, I used to come up here every weekend exploring in my old Jeep, so I know these roads really well. I am on the original Route 66 that dates back to the 1920s that is now a dirt road.
Wow.
And as I say, I've been up here many times, and once I confirmed with the desk where the burning trucks were, it was just a matter of driving up that fire road that I'd driven many times.
Dave, how many years have you been a photographer here?
No, that's a
35.
Vehicle.
And have you ever seen anything like this?
No, I've seen fires and I've seen weather-related calamity in this very spot. So there was a bus accident up here about 30 years ago where the whole family was killed when a bus burned up, and that was just a mile or two up. But I've never seen a brush fire do this. The interesting thing was when I was in our bureau listening, I heard the initial calls on the scanner. U.S. Forest Service Station 33, right down here at the Mormon Rocks, at 138 and the 15th. They called for 5 air tankers when they immediately rolled out of the station.
Wow. So they knew this was going to be a problem.
They knew this was going to be a problem. This is moderate fuel, as the firefighters would say, and it's very dry, and you had the afternoon winds up here. And so that's where things stand here. For those people who really know the Cajon Pass, this is about a mile and a half south of a spot that everybody around here knows as Fingers Point. And it's because the Hall of Fame pitcher, Raleigh Fingers, who was from Rancho Cucamonga and played for the Oakland Athletics, this was the closest place to his house that his parents could go to hear the play-by-play of his games when he pitched for the Oakland Athletics. So there used to be on baseball nights, sometimes there were 50, 60 cars up here.
That's the beauty of Dave Bussey.
We're all smiling, Dave. We're all smiling because you and your vast knowledge of trivia is amazing. That's wonderful.
Well, anybody who travels Cajon Pass knows where fingers point.
Right.
And it's just down the hill from there.
So Dave, from your vantage point now, as we watch this fire and you have a dramatic shot from the ground as you shoot those tanker trucks that are on fire right now, are there people around you, or are you basically there on your own? And what are you observing when it comes to folks getting out of the cars and getting off the freeway? How are they doing that?
Well, I haven't seen many civilians. I've seen at the higher end of the traffic jam, trucks are turning around one by one and taking the opposite route, going up the downhill road to get out of here. I'm next to Forest Service Engine 13, which is a San Bernardino National Forest unit, and nobody else is around me. And the KMAX helicopter just made another bucket drop on the...
Oh yeah, that's a dramatic shot right there.
Yeah. And there's one of the big air cranes coming in. He's going to make a drop too.
So that's Dave actually handling the camera and talking to us at the same
right.
time.
35 years of experience here so with ABC.
I was a reporter in another life.
Well, I'm so glad that you are upwind from all that smoke, but it still must smell horrible where you are.
It's brush fire smoke. It's not, when you get a lot of vehicles burning, you usually get that smell of burning rubber and stuff like that.
CBS 2 News at 5. We are watching
any of the hazardous stuff that
burn more than 2,000 acres. In the San Bernardino County area. It is off of Interstate.
Well, it's wonderful you were able to make it there on those side roads. You got there pretty quickly.
We're looking
I'd like to say it was time well wasted in my early life driving around these fire roads.
Yeah, but now we can benefit from your knowledge of the Cajon Pass.
Yeah.
On the freeway.
Anyway, I still haven't gotten any hints for being this close that there's any casualties in terms of people being hurt. I saw one of the medical helicopters coming in here looking for a landing zone, but I haven't seen any ambulances or anything like that. So from where I am, there's no indication that there's any loss of life or anybody injured. I'm sure there's a couple hundred people who have a pretty interesting story to tell tonight.
You are right. Dave Bussey, this is Mark Brown along with Michelle Tuzzi. Glad to have you out there, Dave. You and I have covered a lot of these in the past ourselves, and we're dealing with this one here. We're beginning Eyewitness News at 5 right now. We're going to kind of reboot, let everybody know what's going on. Here is what we know at this point. Now, this fire, the North Fire, broke out this afternoon, burning near the 15 freeway north of the 138. 2,000 acres have burned so far. It has moved very fast. The 15 freeway completely closed in both directions. The reason should be apparent as you have been watching our coverage. We've seen multiple cars that have caught fire and burned, several trucks. Right now, mandatory evacuations right now in the Baldy Mesa neighborhood. It has crossed into that neighborhood, we're hearing, or very close to it. An evacuation center has been set up at Serrano High School.
All right, we have a number of crews who are covering this fire for us this afternoon. We have crews in the air. We have 2 helicopters covering this for us, plus we have crews on the ground as well as we continue to watch this fire burn near the Cajon Pass. It was incredible earlier when it actually swept over the Cajon Pass and burned numerous vehicles. We're now seeing an airliner, a firefighting aircraft come in to make another drop of what we believe will be Phos-Chek fire retardant. We saw this earlier. You can see the big red mark on the hillside. It's a DC-10 that has been retrofitted to fight this fire, to carry a lot of many gallons of Phos-Chek or water. These planes are equipped to handle either or, and it's amazing how low that is, Mark.
That is incredible. And look at the huge load of Phos-Chek. We're going to look this up and find out how much he can drop at a single time, but that is a whole bunch of Phos-Chek, and that is vital. As you know, they're fighting this on several fronts, of course. There's still a fire, a brush fire, the wildfire that is burning toward homes, in the Baldy Mesa area. Those homes have been evacuated, and there is a real danger that some structures could be lost here as well. We've been following the drama as well that's happening on the 15 freeway with cars and trucks going up in flames, the huge black smoke and the danger to the people around these cars. So this is a multi-front effort that involves both structures and vehicles on a highway, and they are bringing in a huge response both from the air and on the ground. The ground response hampered, of course, by the traffic, by the fact that this road, Highway 15, is blocked, is stopped dead in this area. So it's really a very difficult situation in temperatures that are near triple digits.